Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you're having a good day today. Good day for me. I decided to do one of the I haven't done in a while, one of the cheap dupes I used to do all the time, one of the $5 dupes from Preferred Fragrance. First off, before you even start, I don't know where you can get it anymore. I'm sorry. I looked online, I couldn't find it. I'm sure if you do, I mean I only looked quick. I'm sure if you did some digging you'd find it. Uh I mean eBay, even though I don't recommend buying off eBay, I mean for a cheap dupe. I mean, what are they going to do? Put the real stuff in there? So, I mean, you'd be pretty safe there. But yeah. So anyway, let's get on to it. It's Hombre, my preferred fragrance. Hombre. I like this stuff. It's one of the cheap dupes that I actually like and I don't get bad performance from too. Uh, a lot of the cheap dupes, let's be real, 2, 3, 4 hours, you're lucky. And they smell okay, but they're $5, right? So remember that I say that all the time when I used to do these videos. I'm grading on a curve here for that price. Spend any more than, I'd say $10 or $15 on this, then you know. But for the $5 I spent on it, or the 10 or 15, you might be able to pick it up now. It's pretty damn good. So let's get into it. It's a dupe of Salvatore Ferragamo Uomo. Controversial. Oh, controversial is not the right word, but it's the only word that comes to mind. So we'll say controversial, but I'll explain what I mean in a minute. Uh, so it's an Oriental woody gourmand, pepper, cardamom, citrus, tiramisu, ambroxan, orange blossom, tonka, cashmere, and sandalwood. That's the notes that I could find. How I applied it, 4 in my moisturizer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 on the shirt. It is a cheap tube, so the performance isn't near as good as the authentic. I haven't had the authentic in a while. I only had a couple of samples of it, but I do remember it being pretty much a beast in projection and longevity and all that stuff. This quite isn't that, so, but it isn't bad, again, for the $5 I spent on it. So what do I get? It's a little sugary sweet right off the top. Actually, I wouldn't even say a little. It's a little too sugary sweet right off the top. But in about 20 minutes or so, half hour, that sweetness kind of mellows itself out, and it's taken over by more of the sweet tiramisu kind of vibe instead of the sugary sweetness. The sugary sweetness is still there, but it's dialed back a lot now. Like I said, it's more of the creamy sweet sweetness, vanilla like sweetness with a touch, just a hint of coffee, and a nice hint of spicy black pepper, and a little. You do pick up on a soft cardamom in this, but not a lot. More the pepper. And that's kind of the whole fragrance for a couple hours, really. There's not a whole lot of change there. Then the tiramisu kind of, everything's still there, but it takes a backdrop. Goes into the background, takes a back seat, so to speak, to the tonka and sandalwood, giving it still a creamy vanilla like vibe, just like the tiramisu. And that's kind of the whole fragrance. I mean, it's a creamy vanilla sweet scent with a little spice and woods. It's the best way I can describe it. It's the simplest way I can describe it. I'm not going super in depth on a $5 fragrance. That's pretty much it. Now the controversy. Some people don't like it. They say it's too sweet. Smells like a vanilla sugar cookie. Feminine, etc. etc. I agree with every one of those. It does smell kind of cookie-ish. That would be the tiramisu. They use lady. If you don't know, it's a dessert that uses like whipped cream, condensed coffee, and ladyfinger cookies, all layered. It's actually, I've had it before a couple times. It's really good, but really decadent. It's not something you eat a lot of. I had a few spoonfuls, and that was enough for me. And that's when I was like 350 pounds, but I was fat. That was enough for me. Just very sweet, but very good. So I do agree with all that, but I think the hint of spice and woods that this does have leans it more unisex than feminine. Maybe unisex leaning feminine. I would agree to that. I actually kind of would say that, but not out and out feminine. But if you're, again, I've said it before, if you're one of them alpha males, you might find this one a little too. You also do pick up on a little bit of the oh my god, the orange blossom, giving it a slight floral vibe too. So it might be a little too feminine for you rugged lumberjacks out there. But I think for most guys, and especially younger guys, modern men, it's perfectly fine. Even for a guy like me who doesn't really, I just like vanilla. I've said it before, and I like the gourmand aspects that this has. I really do like it. But I would not disagree if you don't like Salvatore, Ferragamo, Uomo, or by proxy this, because it smells. Again, I'm not going to give you percentages. I used to, but it's just stupid. We'll say it smells close enough, especially for the price. It does smell a little cheap, like I said, off the first 15, 20 minutes. That sweet, sugary vibe is kind of, smells like how do I say it? A dollar store hard-boiled candy. But within, like I said, 20 minutes, a half hour, that kind of overly synthetic, sugary, cheap, sugary, sweet smell goes away, and you're left with a sweet, vanilla, creamy tiramisu, cookie. So that's it, guys. Performance, like I said, not too bad on me, especially for the price. I got about 6 hours, which is really good because most of these dupes, you're lucky to hit the 4-hour mark. Most of them are at 3 hours. This one, the projection, pretty solid, about an arm's length out there for about an hour. Then it comes in pretty quick. Gives you 2.5 hours of a decent little bubble. You're not pumping out there anymore, but you're going to leave a trail and people are going to smell you. They get a little close. Then it's a skin scent for a couple hours, a decent, skin scent where somebody coming for a hug or whatever, or sitting next to you on a chair, they're going to pick it up. And then it's a skin scent for about an hour after that, which is still a little detectable. And then it's time to reapply. Now, after that, for a few hours, believe it or not, you can still pick up the vanilla, but you have to be like it's a skin scent in the literal term, right? So I'd say after the, about the 5.5, 6 hour mark, it's time to reapply. And that's it. So if you can get your hands on it, guys, I'm sorry again, I don't know where. Please don't ask. I picked it up at either Dollarama here in Canada or Giant Tiger. I can't remember. One of the two. Basically discount stores. And I know Blue Note sometimes sells them. This is all Canada too. I don't know what states or anything or other countries. But Blue Note sometimes sells them. Urban Planet sometimes sells them. Even Walmart sometimes sells them in some of the bigger Walmarts. So you might want to try any of them. And that's the best I can tell you. All right, guys. Peace, love, be good to each other, and be good to yourselves.